The U.S. Navy is set to establish a new unit dedicated to small unmanned surface vessels as part of an ongoing effort to integrate more robotic and autonomous systems into the fleet. Unmanned Surface Vessel Squadron 7, USVRON-7, is scheduled to be established in May in San Diego, California. Its primary mission will be to operate and maintain a range of small USVs, including the Global Autonomous Reconnaissance Craft, GARC. According to Rear Admiral Kevin Smith, the U.S. Navy plans to scale up GARC production to 32 vessels per month later this year. The 16-foot GARC, an unmanned surface vessel manufactured by Maritime Applied Physics Corp., has already received over $160 million in funding from the Defense Department, based on government contracting data. The Russian Navy has reportedly restarted the 2 nuclear reactors that power its last remaining Kirov-class battlecruiser, Admiral NAKHIMOV. According to state media outlet TASS, the consecutive physical launch of the cruiser's 2 reactors demonstrates the readiness of the entire nuclear power plant of the ship for operation in all modes. Russian officials claim the 28,000-ton warship is expected to begin sea trials this summer. However, given the numerous delays in its return to service, it remains uncertain whether this timeline will hold. Originally launched in 1986, Admiral NAKHIMOV belongs to the Project 11442 class, known to NATO as the Kirov class. Following modernization, it has been redesignated Project 11442M. The refit was initially scheduled for completion in 2018, but the deadline was repeatedly pushed back to 2019, then 2020 and beyond. The Pentagon's Director of Operational Test and Evaluation, DOT&E, has shed light on the persistent challenges faced by the F-35 fifth-generation fighter program in achieving the long-delayed Technology Refresh 3, TR3, hardware and software standard. These challenges have led to a suspension of fighter deliveries and continue to disrupt the program's progress. In December 2023, it was announced that TR3 upgrades would be completed before July 2024, a deadline that has already been missed. Program Executive Officer for the F-35, Air Force Lieutenant General Michael Schmidt, attributed these issues to hardware design maturity and low manufacturing yields of parts required to produce F-35s at the TR3 standard. However, he successfully advocated for F-35s to be accepted into service before the TR3 standard to prevent the accumulation of hundreds of airframes at production facilities. Nevertheless, without the complete software, the F-35s are not fully equipped for combat missions. In its latest report, the DOT&E office noted regarding software issues that the F-35 program has shown no improvement in meeting schedule and performance timelines for developing and testing software designed to address deficiencies and add new capabilities. It was added that operational testing was unlikely to begin until 2026. The TR3 software is crucial for enabling F-35s to conduct high-intensity operations, and delays in its operationalization have significant repercussions for the combat capabilities of stealth fighter fleets worldwide. Germany has taken a significant step towards developing an upgraded main battle tank. A contract has been awarded for technical studies on 130mm ammunition, a powerful power plant, advanced protection systems, and other essential equipment. These resulting systems are expected to be integrated into the interim tank operated by the German military, pending the arrival of an entirely new Franco-German main battle tank. The German Armed Forces Procurement Office, BAAINBW, has published detailed information about the technical studies on TED, the European online procurement platform. These cutting-edge technologies are designed to be compatible with the existing Leopard 2 main battle tank. However, if they are eventually integrated into a single platform, the resulting tank will exhibit a distinctively different design. The tank is being named Leopard 2A or 3 in sections of the media. A pivotal move will involve transitioning to a 130mm main gun. This reflects a broader trend towards adopting increased caliber tank armament. Rheinmetall has been working on developing a larger gun for several years now. Japan has successfully conducted a series of flight tests for its hypersonic glide vehicle, the Hyper Velocity Gliding Projectile, HVGP, as part of its efforts to bolster its standoff defense capabilities. On February 7th, Japan's Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics Agency, ATLA, announced that the HVGP tests were conducted in California, and all 4 flights successfully achieved their objectives. The latest test took place on January 25th, and the series of trials aimed to gather crucial data for further development of the HVGP. Japan's research and development on high-speed glide munitions commenced in fiscal 2018. According to an official timeline from the Ministry of Defense, following additional tests, the first deliveries of the HVGP are anticipated to commence between fiscal years 2026 and 2027. Defense Ministry officials have identified Kyushu and Hokkaido as potential locations for these missile batteries. The deployment of these units would provide strategic coverage over Japan's key maritime approaches in contested island territories. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, confirmed that it has deployed the Rafael SPYDER air defense system during the conflict with Hamas and the Lebanese group Hezbollah since October 2023. According to an IDF spokesperson, prior to the war, the SPYDER system was not integrated due to resource constraints and the prioritization of other interception methods. However, during the war, it was decided to acquire the system based on an urgent operational need after an analysis of its capabilities. The IDF emphasized that the SPYDER system represents a significant advancement for the air defense wing of the Israeli Air Force, which operates all its air defense systems. Unlike Israel's existing systems, the SPYDER is mobile rather than being operated from fixed sites. It can utilize Python 5, IDARBY, and IDARBY-ER missiles, with all 3 types available with additional boosters for extended range versions of the system. However, the IDF did not disclose which SPYDER version was acquired or if a dedicated unit has been established to operate it. An industry source informed Janes that the SPYDER All-in-One AIO version has now entered service and has successfully intercepted various types of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. Iran has reportedly acquired Russian-made Sukhoi Su-35 fighter jets, a move that has raised concerns among Western nations about the growing military cooperation between Tehran and Moscow. Ali Shadmani, senior IRGC official, who was quoted by the media, did not provide specific details about the number of jets purchased or whether they had already been delivered to Iran. Shadmani emphasized that Iran makes military purchases whenever necessary to bolster its air, land, and naval forces, and that the production of military equipment has also accelerated. In November 2023, Iran's Tasnim news agency reported that Tehran had finalized arrangements to acquire Russian fighter jets. In early January 2025, Iran and Russia signed a comprehensive strategic partnership that did not explicitly mention arms transfers, but emphasized their intention to develop their military technical cooperation. This deal further strengthened ties between the 2 countries as they navigate mounting geopolitical pressures. The Sukhoi Su-35 Superflanker is a highly advanced fighter aircraft that has evolved from the Su-27M. During the development of India's Su-30 MKI, Sukhoi refined the capabilities of the Su-35, making it a single-seat, twin-engine, highly maneuverable, and 4.5 generation air superiority fighter. The U.S. Navy announced on February 4, 2025, that the IRST Block II had achieved its initial operational capability for its FA-18EF Super Hornet fighters, offering enhanced capability to search, detect, and track airborne targets at long range. The IOC of the long-awaited IRST system marks an important milestone in our overarching efforts to deliver advanced integrated warfighting capability to the fleet, said Rear Admiral John Lemon, Program Executive Officer for Tactical Aircraft Programs. It is designated as the ASG-34AV-1, with Lockheed Martin's Missiles and Fire Control Division and Boeing Defense as its primary contractors. The system is integrated into a double-use pod featuring the IRST Block II sensor, also known as IRST-21, housed in the front of the FPU-13A fuel tank. This tank is carried on the jet's center line. In spring 2025, NAVAIR will make a decision to initiate full-rate production of the IRST Block II, enabling the U.S. Navy to procure it for all its FA-18EF Super Hornet squadrons. The U.S. aircraft carrier USS Harriet Truman and her escort, the guided missile destroyer USS Jason Dunham, arrived at a U.S. naval support base on Crete on February 6. After 2 months of intense activity in the Red Sea region, fighting the Houthi militants, the crew and ship are finally getting some well-deserved rest and maintenance. The port visit was made possible by the ongoing Gaza ceasefire since January 18th, which has resulted in the suspension of attacks on U.S. forces and merchant shipping in the Red Sea. The Harriet Truman Carrier Strike Group remains the most adaptable and lethal presence in theater, said Rear Admiral Sean Bailey, commander of the Carrier Strike Group. This port visit provides the opportunity to reset and focus on maintenance for maximum readiness ahead of future operations. Major shipping companies believe it's still too soon to resume operations in the Red Sea. The Houthis have agreed to pause most attacks as long as the ceasefire in Gaza holds, but they will continue targeting ships linked to Israel. History is being made in Aero India 2025. 2 American F-35 stealth fighters landed at Bengaluru's Yelahanka Air Base of the Indian Air Force, IAF. They taxied past the Russian 5th-generation fighter Su-57, marking the first time both aircraft shared the same airspace. Initially, both the Su-57 and the F-35 were scheduled to perform aerial demonstrations during the 5-day event. However, due to a shortage of stunt pilots in the U.S., the American fighter will now be solely for static display. This event presents an opportunity for both nations to showcase their best aircraft. In private conversations, multiple American officials have indicated that the F-35 is being offered to India. Russian sources have also suggested that the Su-57 is available for co-production, and they have even offered assistance in developing India's own stealth fighter.